Hello. So, today I'm gonna play some Super Metroid. I've been wanting to revisit this game recently. Well, for one thing, I don't know, just during the summer, I always kind of get in the mood for like a sci-fi adventure. Um, but it's been many years since I've played this. I played through it at least twice in the past, but it's been quite a long time. Um, I've like watched playthroughs of it and stuff too in the interim. But yeah, I just played Hollow Knight for the first time. I just streamed it about a month ago, or really finished it a few weeks ago, and absolutely loved it. So I've been kind of curious to revisit this game. I was thinking of it a lot while playing Hollow Knight. This is my other favorite Metroidvania, along with Hollow Knight at this point. So yeah, I just wanted to take a look at its design again. I also wanted to compare it to Metroid Dread because I kind of have mixed feelings about Dread. I think the action is incredible, but in terms of the like exploration and the progression in the game, it kind of let me down. It was a little too straightforward for my taste. And I wanted to go back and revisit this game and like kind of think about like is it as open as I remember, or at least like is it a lot less straightforward in the way Dread was as I remember. Um, I think it is more open, but yeah, I want to revisit it and kind of take another look at it. Um, so let me. First of all, start. Just so I can just have the ambience here without the Metro noises. I'll probably reset after this and then just kind of like watch that intro again. The intro to this game is so good. Like I think it's like one of the best. Just that title screen is one of the best title screens of any game ever. It sets such a mood. But yeah, I'll talk about it. First, I want to check out the manual. I don't think I've ever actually read through this manual before. I kind of when I found this webpage before the stream and I was setting it up, it it kind of hit me. I don't think I ever like read through this. Maybe I did a long, long time ago, but um, I'm actually so actually if you can go back to her for a sec. That's actually my original save file of my very first playthrough of this game, I believe, because I'm playing this on the Wii Virtual Console with component cables. I still think the Wii Virtual Console is like maybe the best emulator Nintendo's done. I don't know. I think either on a CRT or with component, I think the games still look great. I think it was better than the Wii U emulator. I think um, the Switch Online one, is good, but I don't know. Some of the games look a little off to me, especially on like the Game Boy side of things, like the Game Boy Color games. Um, so yeah, and I'm playing with like a SNES Classic controller plugged into the Wii remote. It has like the colored buttons because I got like the I don't think I have the Japanese one. I think it's like the European version was the one I bought. It's just for that controller basically because I love the controller with like the colored buttons. They look like M&Ms. Um, so yeah, I originally played this on Wii Virtual Console because I didn't have a SNES back in the day. So this was probably one of the first Virtual Console games I got when I got my Wii, and I was just so excited to finally play it because I always heard it's just like such a masterpiece and such a beloved classic game. And yeah, I would say it lived up to the hype. It's a really super special game. Um, yeah, I absolutely love this game. It does a lot of the thing, kind of like Hollow Knight, kind of like I talked about a lot when I played Hollow Knight. It does a lot of the things that just I love in games in terms of how it handles its storytelling and its atmosphere and everything. Hey, Gian, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Um, yeah, playing Super Metroid today, as I've kind of mentioned a couple times in the past. So let me go back. Everything sounds good? Okay, good to hear. Yeah, I messed around with the audio on this one a lot, so it was really quiet at first. I think it's just kind of a quiet game in general, too. So yeah, I've never really looked at the manual for this, I don't think. Let me get some water. Okay, the Metroid Menace, Broken Peace. The galaxy once enjoyed a period of peace and prosperity. Trade lines were open, the citizens were happy, and the Galactic Federation kept a watchful eye over the planets. So even back then, the Galactic Federation was a thing. I think it was maybe a thing even in Metroid 1. I always associate it with the Prime games. I couldn't remember if it like started in those games or if it was always a thing, but I guess it was always a thing. Um, Not long ago, the peace was broken by a startling discovery. The dawn of the Metroids. On a routine survey mission of the planet SR388, classic planet name, the crew of a Galactic Federation vessel discovered a new airborne life form and gave it the name Metroid. These creatures, which could engulf other living beings and take away their energy, proved to be strong and prolific. After just a few seconds of beta ray bombardment, a single Metroid became two Metroids, and then four. That's lore that I don't remember. Um, that's interesting. And I also noticed that it says that the Galactic Federation gave them the name Metroid, which I think was either retconned. With these classic game manuals, you always got to take it with a grain of salt. It's always kind of unclear who wrote it, who localized it. Sometimes there's mistakes. Sometimes it's things the original Japanese devs didn't even come up with or intend. Usually with Nintendo manuals, they're pretty consistent, but um, at least in starting to get into the Super Nintendo era, I think they were. I think, but because I'm pretty sure Metroid is like the Chozo word for like Ultimate Warrior. Like that eventually became a thing in the lore. So this kind of contradicts that. Wait, what, Shion? This you had a day today. You cut yourself when you were juicing a lemon, and then a guy called to yell at you about how you screwed him over, and then didn't even apologize when you told him he had the wrong number. That's hilarious. Remember the Draw Samus contest where she was a man? I don't. What is that from Nintendo Power? I don't know if I'm familiar with that. I remember artwork of her in Nintendo Power that was like it showed her like inside the suit, and it was awesome. Like she had like a really cool like design that's like a lot different than the design that's like there nowadays, and it showed like how she fit into the suit and like all the different ways it works. It was really cool. Um, so this is what I'm referring to. Um, Yeah, really cool. Yeah, so they like one half where it's like this, and then you see she's in like this kind of like jumpsuit. How she like fits into it. I love how she's like super buff here too and everything. It's just so cool. I love the details in the shoulder. It's such like a 90s drawing. Um, yeah, and then they have like all this lore, and this is probably stuff like the Nintendo Power people wrote. I'm not sure. I think this was for Super Metroid to promote it. I'm like looking. Yeah, it's basically just talking about how awesome she is and like the power suit. Um, and how the power suit is really powerful. So anyway, so yeah, they found out Beta Ray bombardment can split Metroids up, apparently. Several Metroid specimens were gathered so that the survey vessel crew could take them to Galactic Federation headquarters for further examination. As the crew sped towards headquarters, they were ambushed by space pirates from the planet Zebes. The pirates stole the Metroids and took them to their home planet, where the planet-leading Mother Brain created a Metroid force. Enter Samus. So this is the event of Metroid 1. And it's really cool that in like Super Metroid, they almost like they remade these scenes from the older Metroids in this game's visual style. I don't know if I've ever like seen another game that does that kind of thing, where it kind of like this isn't from the later Metroid 1 remake Zero Mission. This is just in the intro cutscene that we'll see in a second in this game. And I think that's like so cool they did that. They did it for the end of Metroid 2 as well. You don't know if it was official Xion, but basically they had a Draw Samus contest, but it was original Metroid, so they drew her as a He-Man-like character. Wow. I do remember the OG manual used he/him. I do remember that, yeah. Again, I didn't really grow up with the Metroid games. I played them a little bit later, but I do remember. I own like a physical copy of Metroid 1, and I think I do have the manual for it, so I've looked through it. It's kind of funny. There's like some really interesting artwork in there of like the Galactic Federation. They're all like a bunch of aliens and stuff, I think. So yeah, so this is Metroid 1. Enter Samus. Bounty Hunter Samus Aran. I used to call her Samus Aran. I used to mispronounce her last name. Bounty Hunter Samus Aran was commissioned by the Galactic Federation to eliminate the space pirates and do away with the dangerous Metroids. Samus landed on Zebes alone and carried out her mission with speed and precision. After the skirmish on Zebes, a special corps was assigned by the Galactic Federation to destroy the Metroids on SR-388. That corps was never heard from again. The Supreme Council gave Samus the job to fly to SR-388 and do what the Special Corps could not do: make the Metroids extinct. And here is, of course, the events of Metroid 2. The Metroids on SR-388 were more advanced than the creatures on Zebes. These monsters could shed their skins and grow even stronger. Samus worked deep below the surface and blasted all the Metroids in her path. Her final victory was against the enormous Metroid Queen. When the Queen was defeated, Samus discovered a Metroid egg which hatched before her eyes. Even this hardened bounty hunter could not destroy the Metroid larva, the baby. When the larva sensed Samus's presence, it clung to her as though it had found its mother. Samus packed up the Metroid larva and took it with her to the Space Science Academy on the Galactic Federation's space colony, where scientists could study the creature and understand its special organic structure. So once again, they kind of recreated the final scene in Metroid 2. A new discovery. The Science Academy scientists found out that the energy-producing properties of the Metroid could benefit humankind. The report suggested that the Metroids may have originally been created for peaceful purposes. I believe... Yeah, they were originally created to defeat the X-Parasites, I think is how the lore goes. So kinda. Again, I'm not as big of a... I love Metroid. I played all the games except... Well, all the major ones. I haven't played Prime 4. Because I don't have a Switch 2, and I figure if I played it, I would play the best version of it. And I haven't played, like, Hunters, Metroid Prime Hunters, Metroid Prime Pinball, or Federation Force. But every other one I've played. So I love the series, but I'm not as like obsessive over it as I am with like stuff like Zelda, for example. So I'm not like a Metroid lore expert. Like I know the gist of it, but it's been forever since I played like Fusion and stuff. Um, so I'm trying to remember. I know Dread introduced all the lore with like the Makin tribe. So I forget like all that. I can't remember if they like I think they might have created the Metroids. I can't quite remember. But I think they were made to be a predator for the X or something like that. Um, just when it seemed peace and order had been restored, Samus received an emergency directive from the Galactic Federation. Emergency, emergency. I can hear that in like the voice and like the Star Fox for Super Nintendo. Return immediately to the Space Science Academy. When Samus made her way to the research facility, she found the building in ruins and the Metroid larva was nowhere to be found. This is just the beginning of the game, so... Out from the darkness came a group of Zebesian space pirates and their leader, Ridley, who had the Metroid larva in tow. The pirates fled to a rebuilt planet Zebes, and Samus followed them, resolving to finish them off and save the hatchling. So that's pretty much just the beginning of the game. Like, Samus is gonna pretty much recount all that anyway. This is so cool. Yeah, I've never looked at this before. Samus Aran's mission is to infiltrate the headquarters of the Zebesian space pirates and recapture the Metroid hatchling. Zebes is made up of 6 huge areas. Here's a brief survey of the planet. This is so cool. I never looked at this before. So you can really see like the surface of the planet. This, I believe, is the original Torian, which is where Metroid 1 ended. Then Brinstar with like the jungle. Norfair is deep below. The starship acts as Samus's base. Here you can guide Samus on her journey. You can save the game here and fill up with energy and missiles. This is hard to read. Criteria is the surface area of planet Zebes. It's under a constant deluge of acid rain. Brinstar, the jungle area of Zebes. It's a maze of heavy foliage. Wrecked ship. Long ago, astronauts from an ancient civilization crash-landed on Zebes. This is what remains of the ship. I wonder if that's like Earth. I wonder if the ancient civilization is like Earth. I don't really know how Earth factors into Metroid lore, really. I think it's like a thing, technically. Meridia, the water world of Zebes, is full of killer crustaceans and fierce fish. Norfair. Norfair is deep below the surface of Zebes. The lava and heat proved to be too much for unprotected visitors. And finally, Torian is the control center for the Zebesian space pirates and the Mother Brain. The original Torian was located just below the surface. After Samus Aran annihilated the forces of Zebes for the first time, this new Torian was built in a more secure area. I wanted to read this. The ancient bird people of Zebes are immortalized in the form of several statues scattered throughout the planet. By firing on the balls that are held by many of these Chozo statues, you'll reveal hidden items. And then it just spoils, this manual spoils everything. By the way, I would never in a million years be reading this if I had never played this game before. You know, I said earlier, this is probably like I've played this game at least twice all the way through, but it's still been like a very long time since I've gone through it all. I don't know if I ever got like 100%. I always got really close. I feel like I always got to like 99 or like 98%. And then of course, there's always the enemy artwork, which is always so cool in these old manuals. The fortress planet Zebes is packed with living creatures and traps set in the relics of ancient civilizations. Here are some of the creatures that you'll encounter in your journey through the planets. So the enemies in Krater are relatively weak when compared to the enemies of the other areas. And so is Samus when she touches down on the planet. Yeah, so it's just kind of like ways that what their actions are. It's not really like kind of like lore stuff. Where is So these things scree. These creatures hang down from the ceiling and drop as intruders approach. I think they're called shriek bats in Metroid Prime, maybe, but there's an enemy in Hollow Knight that is basically just these things, which I thought was funny. But they explode. I can't remember if these explode when they fall down. I think the ones in Metroid Prime do. And then you have all the boss spoilers. Yeah, I never looked at this art. It's so cool. Spore Spawn, the mini boss of Brinstar. This creature was genetically engineered by the space pirates. Its weak point is its core, which is protected by the plant's hard shell. Created the boss of Brinstar. The giant lizard of Brinstar attacks Samus with thorny projectiles and spits spears out of its mouth. Does it? Out of its mouth? I don't remember that. I know it shoots out its... it shoots these out of its stomach, but... No weapons, beams, missiles, or bombs have any effect on its body. The creature's weak point is unknown. The air in Norfair is unbearably hot for adventurers who are not equipped with a Varia, which was originally like a mistranslation of barrier, the barrier suit. So they made it the Varia suit, and then they just kept it because it sounded cool. I think that's how the story goes. The creatures of Norfair are equally harsh. Move carefully through this area. Just straight up dragons. That's funny. Crocomire. This huge creature has sticky skin and spits plasma balls. When adventurers attempt to fight the Crocomire, it becomes angry with every blow. And then, of course, Ridley. Ridley headed the mission to the space colony and stole the Metroid hatchling. It whips out at enemies with its long tail and spits fire while flying through the air. Meridia is almost completely underwater, and most of the enemies in the area are aquatic creatures. We must have the gravity suit in order to move around in the area. Look at this thing, so freaky. Dragon. The Dragon is an armor-like hard shell, which gives it a lot of defensive strength. And of course, the wrecked ship has been shut down by the floating ghost Fantoon. Cover. And these souls of shipwrecked creatures turn into evil spirits and wrap themselves around intruders. These robots were built by ancient man to service the inside of the ship. Since the crash, they've gone completely haywire. So yeah, I think it is meant to be like from Earth. And Fantoon, the ghost of the ship, taps into the vicious brainwaves of the mother brain and attacks adventurers with deadly plasma. That's cool. In her last raid on Zebes, Samus destroyed the old Torian command center. Now it has been built again, in a different location. Samus's new goal is to infiltrate this area and take on the new leaders of Zebes. These feared aliens are known as the Scourge of the Galaxy. They are known for stealing galactic training ships and leaving the crews stranded in space. Oh, these are also space pirates, too. These creatures are pirates from another galactic system who helped rebuild Zebes. When they lose their wings, they spit powerful acid. I don't think I ever clued in that these enemies are also like part of the space pirate force. And then Metroid, such an iconic design. It is said that Metroids are life forms created by an ancient civilization, the Chozo. Metroids engulf living creatures and absorb their energy. They are very intelligent and quick to reproduce. Let's go. So yeah, you will encounter many strange creatures that are not introduced in the previous pages. A few creatures offer hints on using various techniques. Watch the gameplay demonstration following the title screen for more clues on Samus' hidden powers. There are several different ending sequences for the game. The sequence that you see depends on the amount of time that you log on the planet. A shorter time results in a better ending. And thus, speedrunning was basically born. This is like one of the games credited, if not the game credited, with like giving rise to the speedrunning scene. It's just so iconic for that, which that's incredible, you know. It's just like another one of it's just another one of the like aspects of this game's legacy. Um, so yeah, cool. Alright, I'm going to leave a... I know anything about having a controller plugged into a Wii remote is it sometimes it just kind of turns off and then the screen goes dark. Alright, so I'm gonna just rewatch the title screen. So cool, so iconic. It's just like such a quiet. There was no other Nintendo first party game like this at the time. Um, like, it's hard to understate how strange this title, like just this opening is for a Nintendo game at the time, which was typically like Mario or Zelda. I mean, Zelda was a little darker, but you know, it's still like colorful. And the title screen is like this beautiful lake with the Triforce and the castle. This game's title screen, it just slowly opens on a room full of dead bodies lying on the floor. And I think they got away with that because of they're just like lumps of pixels. I think even when I first played this, I couldn't tell what they were. But yeah, those are dead scientists that the space pirates murdered basically when they were trying to capture the Metroid. Um, and like all this fog in the foreground, and just the little Metroid in the center. That's the only thing you can hear. It's just like so effective to me. It's just so ominous. And then I like the classic theme. It's just perfect. It's like the perfect intro to just kind of like this new era of Metroid. It really felt like the next level. Like back then, it was like it's just such a leap from the NES. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go with Samus B. I don't even know what this stuff is. What is dash? There's a dash in this, or is that like the shine spark stuff? I mean, I think it's already on default, but just in case. What is this? Icon cancel. Shot holds. That's interesting. I always like the wording and localization in these retro games. Some of them are like, it's always like strange. Like, what is. I bet icon cancel is something really mundane and obvious, but like, what is that? Like, I don't even know. Um, anyway.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
So iconic, that reading. I first battled the Metroids on Planet Sebes. Oh, this theme is so good. It was there that I foiled the plans of the space pirate leader, Mother Brain, to use the creatures to attack galactic civilization. Samus is so fucking cool. Look at her. Oh yeah, you advanced this. I thought it auto-advanced. The song is so good. Da-da. And then it recounts the end of Metroid 1. Again, they remade this for this game. Before Zero Mission. So cool. I next fought the Metroids on their homeworld, SR-388. I completely eradicated them, except for a larva, which after hatching followed me like a confused child. One of the best soundtracks of all time in this game. There's the end of Metroid 2. I personally delivered it to the Galactic Research Station at Ceres, so scientists could study its energy-producing qualities. Just double-checking my sound and everything. Make sure my mic's working. I'm having issues with that lately. Such like a cliche scientist, man. The scientists' findings were astounding. They discovered that the powers of the Metroid might be harnessed for the good of civilization. That kind of thing always works out, right? Never backfires. That's such a cool shot. Satisfied that all was well, I left the station to seek a new bounty to hunt. But I'd hardly gone beyond the asteroid belt when I picked up a distress signal. Ceres Station was under attack. Love that. That little ambience, it's so good. I'll never forget that. The little, like, text crawl. So cool. I just love how quiet it is. Even, like, her footsteps are so subdued. And again, this is like there would, like, probably be no Hollow Knight without this game, right? Like, right away you see that influence with the beginning of that game when you just fall down the pit and it just starts and it's like really quiet and atmospheric. Yeah, it's just so intensely atmospheric. And of course, this whole intro is like, it's a good, like, it's just like a really good piece of game design too, because like they put this lip here so you know how to jump, right? Like you have to jump to get past that. There's like a lot of little subtle things like that. This acts as a tutorial, but it's like a super thematic, in-universe, like piece of storytelling type of tutorial. And that's just like the best thing. So everything's so quiet. It's so good. Here it is. Samus is like, what the fuck? It's gone. I was just here. Like, Samus was just talking to these people. And now they're just dead on the floor, and the Metroid is... I mean, maybe they're just knocked out, but, you know... It's space pirates, so... I don't know. Metroid's gone. I gotta remember how to... Okay, that's how you do it. So that's down, and that's up. Or that is either way. Yeah, I gotta remember how to play this game. It's been a while. Oh, thank God. Okay. Well, at least the Metroid's safe. What? Oh, fuck. I gotta remember how to play. Let's see if I think you can technically beat him, but you don't have to. It's so hard to avoid his tail. See, that iconic Ridley theme is so good. Yeah, then they just run away. That's so cool. Oh, I do gotta change these controls. They're like on a really awkward setup. I think it's because of the how I'm playing this. Right, there is a sprint button. I didn't remember that. I didn't remember there being a run button in this game. They really they don't give you like a ton of time, but it's like just enough that most players will be fine. And you can die here, I think. So it's like still tense. It's like the right amount of tension. Just a little ambience again. See, of course, Ridley, the leader of the space pirates, grabs the Metroid. Samus chases him down. And according to the lore, Ridley murdered Samus's parents once upon a time. That's why she was orphaned and raised by the Chozo. This ship looks so good, this pixel art. So cool. Just the quiet, like the lightning. Can I change? I think I might have to quit out of the game, so I might have to wait for a save point. Unless... Hold on. Sorry to break the immersion. Can I change the control layout in here? No, I don't think so. Alright. I'll have to wait till I get to a save point. Yes, I am playing this on the original Wii Virtual Console, which was the first version of this game I played. Yeah, because the controls are really awkward right now. Like, the shoot button is like... It's like the X button. Anyway, this looks awesome, though. Yeah, why... Is it always... Was that always the default on Super Nintendo? Maybe it was. Maybe I just forget. I don't know. That's sprint. Yeah, shoot. Shoot should be the Y button, I think. What does the Y button do? Anything? I don't know. We'll make do. But yeah, I might change it when I get to a save point. So right off the bat, I wonder if I can, So it's been so long since I played this. I played it before, like, even really knowing that speedruns were a thing. I played it before, I think, knowing, like, sequence breaking was a thing. That's, like, how long it's been since I played through this. So I don't think I ever even, like, tried to do any, like, sequence breaks or anything like this. And, like, this is obviously is not a speedrun. This is a slow run. I'm going to be, like, methodically making my way through the game and just talking about it. But I do want to see if I can try to, like, do some sequence breaks. Because I definitely never did this the first time I played it. Damn. But I was always terrible at the wall jumping in this. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue for now. But I love the back. You can see like the surface of the planet. It's all desolate with the mountains. And it's just like so quiet. It really feels like this alien world. Love that, all the little bugs scattering. You can see like the lighting is darker too. I love like the moss growing too on like the on the cavern floor. And you can still hear the rain outside. Like that reminds me of like in Hollow Knight too. Like the rain ambience, how it changes when you're indoors and outdoors. This was a Super Nintendo game in 1994 was doing that. It's incredible. So we got 2 ways to go. Can't go this way. The beginning is definitely very linear. It guides you on a path because it's really telling a story. So this is so cool. And this is something I played this I think before I played Metroid 1. I might have played Zero Mission before. I think I did, but I didn't really piece together that this is the escape route in Metroid 1 and you're going back through it in the opposite direction. And I think that's like such a cool thing to do with a sequel. And this is where like the whole escape sequence at the end of Metroid 1 was. And now it's just all like desolate and like crumbling and stuff. It's so cool. And here's like where you fought Mother Brain as you saw in the intro. And right now Samus is just like, it's all quiet, like there's no, from here on the storytelling, it's just purely like environmental and quiet. And it's extremely well done. Like, just as the game goes on, like I'll gush about that, but it's just all ambient. So like, Samus right now is just like looking for Ridley. She knows this was like the Space Pirates base. She messed it up earlier. And so she's just backtracking to what used to be like the core of their operations, but now it's all destroyed because of her. That's so cool. So this is the opening of Metroid 1. This is where Metroid 1 started. I really, replaying this now, I'm really like appreciating more than ever just like how cool it is as like a sequel. So we can get that now, I think, right? Yeah, but I don't want to get it quite yet. So you have to get it. Okay. This is where you get the Morph Ball in Metroid 1. Morphing Ball. Forgot I was called that in this. So cool. So this thing sees you. It's like a security camera, and then you notice like the little lights on the bottom popped up too, and the whole area gets brighter. So Samus is like, oh fuck. So now they know she's here. And even like the little statues up there are glowing now. I don't think we can go that way still. Yeah, and the statues turn and look at you. I don't think they did that before. Maybe they did and I didn't notice. Now we're closer to the surface, so you hear the rain. And everything's like a little brighter now. Oh, it's locked, so we can't get out. Oh, I guess I was supposed to go the other way. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right, these crumble, I think, right? Oh, it's so zoomy. I don't have missiles yet, right? No. Maybe not. Yeah, I love how the statues are like looking at you. Oh, wait. Right. It's like I've never played a video game before. God. Such a perfect item fanfare. I always like. I feel like I always do this in Metroid games for no reason. Just turn into a ball when I get an item from a Chozo statue. Okay, here we go. Maybe the shoot was always X and I'm forgetting. I'm sure there is like a secret there. So now, I think is the part. So you have nowhere else to go. So back up. Again, the music changes. Is something here? And I love this because it's like, it's not the ambience of the planet anymore. It's just like, it's like something's different. Something's wrong. Something's changed. And then, bam. Now all the space pirates are here. They showed up. They know Samus is here because their security cameras picked up on her. So they came probably from Torian, their new base, and came over here. And now, like, now shit hits the fan. Now it's like they know she's here. And this is where, like, the game starts, basically. I love that. It's all completely quiet, but it's such a cool piece of just like completely interactive storytelling. And now you do climb back up, like at the end of Metroid 1. It's a beep boop now. Yeah. I think this song is called like The Pirates Attack or something. I can't remember for sure. But yeah, it's so like the music's all so memorable because like I remember all the moments it plays at and like this music, the music that plays like when you're about to fight like a big boss, like that dun 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 dun, like that song. I love that song. It's just all used. It's not just like catchy music, it's just used really effectively to like support the atmosphere or like the part in the story going on. Even these little guys show up. Classic Metroid enemy. Obviously Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, one of the first rooms in Hollow Knight looks just like this, you know, and has all these little guys just like this crawling around, so clearly meant to be like evocative. So there's already a couple ways we can go, right? We can go this way. We can go to the missile door on the right. We can go through this door. There might have even been something up top. And that's what I like. I like options. Well, we can't go that way. Never mind. I don't like to just be kind of like breadcrumbed or like railroaded in one direction in one of these games. And that was my beef with Dread. Dread constantly did that kind of thing. Okay, here we go. I'll stick with the controls for now. I might change them off stream or something. I might just be misremembering. It felt awkward at first, but it has been a long time since I played this, and I am getting more used to it, so it's not that bad actually. I didn't remember X being shoot. Do you shoot stuff with a missile to reveal what it is in this? I can't quite remember for sure. I think you do. If that came in later. I got this mix of like natural caverns and then like these inorganic areas like built into the caves. That's such a Metroid thing. Like I feel like Metroid like really, not like pioneered, but other like games did it too, like NES games and stuff, I think, but I just associate that kind of like world design with Metroid, and I feel like that became like a common thing kind of with like Metroidvanias. Okay, we're here. So already we get... So now we have the Morph Ball Bomb. And then what? Uh-oh. So cool. Right, and then it kind of like... Can you attack it with this? like you just got the morph ball, so now there's kind of like a boss that you use to dodge it, use it to dodge it. Which I don't even think I like figured out on my first playthrough. I probably just tried to like jump over it. It starts like bleeding, which is a cool detail. I don't know like what this thing is. If it's like some kind of parasite, like infecting the statue, it's interesting. Or maybe it's just like a robot. Probably like a robot, like some kind of defense mechanism made by the Chozo. I'm always like so bad at doing this, but I like to try to practice it. It's just fun. So many interesting just little like tech things in every Metroid game, but and it kind of started in this one. There's a quality to the music that's hard to describe. It's almost like echoey in a way, or like muffled is maybe the word, and I always loved that. And I think it's like part of just the SNES sound chip or the limitations or something, but I feel like this game in particular I like really associate it with. Like it might be in other SNES games too, but it just like fits this game really well. It's hard to describe kind of what I mean, but right, and then we get through here. So you have to do that to get out, so it kind of teaches you can use the bombs in that way. But yeah, it just fits this game's like subdued, quiet, atmospheric tone. It's interesting the music kind of goes away and it's just pure ambience now out here. Oops. Okay, you can't get through here now. There was another missile door down there. I think there was another way I could have gone. Again, as I play this, I'm trying to like compare it to Dread and see like if maybe this game's more linear than I remember it being. If it is more like Dread, then I kind of like, am I being unfair to Dread, right? Because I think of Dread as like a very linear, straightforward kind of game. But I remember this being more open and exploratory, but maybe it's just because when I played it, I didn't like recognize that kind of level design trickery as much, how it's kind of leading you on a string, like an invisible string in Dread. Because right now, like, I'm sure there's like some sequence breaks I could do, but it looks like I can't actually go this way. And this is something Dread does a lot too. It's like the illusion of choice. Like you can go in a direction, but then it just locks you with like a dead end like this. So really there's only one way to go, right? Like Dread does that kind of thing all the time. There's a lot of areas, like I remember like I got to like the jungle area in that game, and there'd be kind of all these side paths that like might just lead to like an item, like a small item upgrade, or just like a locked door or a dead end. And it's like if you picture just like a straight line with a bunch of spokes coming off it, that's kind of what the level design is like in a lot of that game. So it feels like there's a lot of different routes to go when there's actually only one way. At least for a lot of the game. Like later, like very late in the game, it eventually does kind of open up and you kind of have a bit more choice, but for much of the game it's like that. And maybe they were just going for more of a fast-paced action experience, which I understand. Like that's valid. I always remember in this game and like the Prime games to an extent, that feeling of just getting lost in this like underground alien planet. I always love that. So I just kind of was hoping for more of that, especially when it's called like Metroid Dread. I wanted it to feel like more scary, more like I'm lost and alone. It surprisingly didn't really have a lot of those kinds of feelings. It was more like I'm this awesome badass just like doing all these cool action moves and stuff. Obviously the Emmy sections were like the dread part, but they were very like contained, like their own separate thing. I want to see what was in that missile door. I keep pressing B to shoot. Pew pew. Did I come in here? I don't think I did. Oh, okay, it's one of these. Alright, that's the map. Um, I always love the vibe of this map. It reminds me of like the computers and like the old Alien movies or something. And that's it's intentional, obviously, because Alien was an inspiration for Metroid. I mean, there's a character named Ridley, Ridley Scott. But yeah, it's such like a 90s or like 80s like sci-fi aesthetic. I love like the beeping sound too. It's such a vibe. Again, I feel like a lot of retro games in particular would have like a very unique style. You think about like the map in this and like the map in like Ocarina of Time and like the map in I don't know, I'm trying to think of another classic game where you explore something. I don't know, like Chrono Trigger or like one of the Final Fantasy games when you look at like the world map. They're all get a unique look to them and aesthetic, whereas I feel like I don't know, a lot of newer games and stuff, they all go for like a very similar kind of minimalist, like clean aesthetic to the map and menus, and they kind of start to feel a bit homogenous. I always like seeing like a more stylized kind of unique aesthetic in like a game's menu and maps. I feel like a series that kind of does a good job of that is actually Xenoblade. I think like I remember the menus in like Xenoblade 2, they felt like they were from like an early 2000s RPG or something. Uh, but that's kind of a lot of that game's vibe, for better and for worse. Alright, so that was just the map, which is important. So once again, so far it is pretty linear. It's like that Dread kind of thing of you can go a couple different directions, but they're kind of dead ends. They don't spoke off into like a whole other like area or anything. But it is like the very beginning of the game, obviously. And I love this. We're in like this room that's just totally unique. Like so far there's been like so many unique different aesthetics of the environments. It's definitely something it improves on compared to the original NES Metroid, where it just kind of copy and pasted rooms. Yeah, again, it's so interesting this like the Chozo or maybe the Space Pirates built the. I think the stuff that's more like seems like it's older ruins like this is Chozo, but it could be Space Pirate built. But it's like they built it like in as part of the caverns. It's just interesting. I always wanted to like see something like that in real life. Well, aren't you? Aren't you tricky? Do you oh, there we go. I think the first time I played this, I didn't even know. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know these guys were space pirates. Like, I didn't appreciate a lot of the lore and connections. I was just kind of having fun with the game and everything because I was still like pretty unfamiliar. I think before this, what had I played? This wasn't my first Metroid, but again, I played it on the Wii Virtual Console first. My first Metroid was actually Prime 1 and Fusion because they both came out the same day, and I got them both for Christmas one year. And I played them at the same time. Like, I switched off between them, I'm pretty sure, which is funny to think about now. So it was like both of those. And then I think this was probably the one I played after those, was probably the next one I played. And yeah, like obviously in Fusion I had no idea what was going on. I probably played Zero Mission actually, because that was on Game Boy Advance too. And I was a big like Game Boy Advancer. So maybe I should have known some of the connections, I just didn't quite piece it together. Let's see what the other way is. But yeah, my favorite Metroid game is Prime 1, probably. I think that game is basically perfect. I have, like, pretty much nothing bad to say about it. And then probably this game, and then Prime 2, which I haven't played in forever, but I just remember really loving the environments in it and stuff and the atmosphere. And I know that one gets kind of a bad rap, but you don't know your favorite? Yeah, I mean they're all pretty good, except Other M, which I know isn't a hot take to say, but this is cool. So this is like clearly like building up to something. I love that. You can hear it. It almost sounds like growling in the background. And I love how you just find this, right? And it's just like, if you watch the opening like game demo after the title screen, it shows Samus fighting Kraid, and then it shows a scene of the crystal here shattering. So it kind of shows you that that's what this room is all about, which is kind of clever. But if you don't see that, this is just like, what the hell is going on? You can see Ridley on the top. So I just love how you just find that. It's just like this mysterious, cool thing. And again, as I talked about endlessly when I played Hollow Knight, that's like my favorite thing in games. Just a game that's super atmospheric, and you just find weird stuff. And you just don't know what it's for at first, and it's such a mystery. And as I talked a lot about in Hollow Knight, it was Link's Awakening that really endeared me to that kind of game originally. That was like the first kind of game like that I had played. And it just felt so mysterious and interesting and kind of eerie, even in a way. When I first played Link's Awakening, it kind of uncanny, right? That game has like an uncanniness to it that's very intentional that I love. I think you can bomb it too to see if there's a hidden block. And obviously, I think you find like that statue of well, no, at the beginning of Hollow Knight, you go into the egg room, right? And it's just like this, you know. It's like It's the same idea. It's clearly inspired. Iconic song. Nova, it's like so it's like a totally different tone. Like everything was kind of like an ominous kind of lead up earlier, and now like it really feels like yeah, like now the game's really getting going. This is like the first major area. Let's just have fun and explore. Now the adventure is like kicked off. Um, it's just again the music, all the music like sets such a good tone. I feel like it opens up a bit more here too. Beep beep boop boop beep 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 boop boop. It also looks like in the background there's like a tunnel dug through the middle of the wall, kind of. I think this is the map. Yeah. I am gonna kind of like do my whole like mapless deal because it's been a while since I played this, so I just want to like explore and get lost. Like when I played Hollow Knight, I really didn't use the map. Most of the time, I just like to get lost. Not that I don't like remember, so like I remember, you know, so much of this game. It's not like I forgot it or anything, but still. You know, the exact layout and everything and all that. It's not like I have that memorized. Once again, like the underground greenery cavern aesthetic is one of my favorites in games. Obviously, Hollow Knight, you know, Green Path, one of the first areas, just like this. I think they clearly were kind of evoking this, I think. There might be a way to do this. I always love like it's such a Metroid thing. It's probably some speed run way you can do that. It's such a Metroid thing, but like that kind of almost like chanting in this song. Like I don't know how to describe it, like that synthetic like oh oh like that in the background. It's very Super Nintendo thing. I associate it with like Chrono Trigger and A Link to the Past as well. Uh, but I feel like there's a lot of songs in kind of Metroid Prime that are kind of have that kind of tone going on. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. But thanks for hanging out, and I'll be RB. Yeah, the screen goes dark uh, when like the it's. I haven't touched the controller in a long time. Unfortunately, that's just what happened. I don't think the game turned off or anything. Hey Chloe, what's up? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Uh, I like the name color change. I'm obviously a fan of that color. um, I think it's the same shade of blue. I don't know. I'm kind of colorblind. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. Okay. Let me tell you, the sky outside, it's like the perfect... It was such a gorgeous day today. It's like the perfect like summer evening sky. It's like a crescent moon, and it was like pink. Um, like the sun had just gone down. It was so beautiful. Alright, I think you can go down here. Whoops. Color change? Oh, yeah, on my end. I think, didn't your name used to be red? But it's blue now for me. It's different on your end? That's weird. It's always been greenish? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I swear it was red before. I swear it was red. Because when the two of you chatted, it would always be like a contrast, because Xion's always been purple, so it was like red and purple. It changes almost every time for you? Huh. I thought you had to manually change it. I need to go get more missiles. Damn, I just wasted a bunch of them. I don't think the save points refill your missiles in this, do they? Maybe it's like different on mobile or something, I don't know. Can I get me missiles? Don't think so. Damn. Oh yeah, okay, this thing. There we go. Good old Metroid farming. Classic staple. Not my favorite aspect of these games, but trust me, it is a gazillion times better in this than it was in the original Metroid 1 at NES. It's part of why I think I really appreciate and respect the original Metroid, but you know, it's very pioneering and the atmosphere is really cool, but I think it's such a pain in the ass to play it. It's just really unforgiving, and every time you die, you gotta like refarm all your energy and stuff, and it takes forever. Okay. Yeah, now you're red, Chloe. Your name's red now. Okay, now you're just messing with me. And that's what that's what I remember it being. Oh, this is cool. The lighting. There's a lot of cool things with lighting too. And I think if you kill them, you can't see in here, which is such a cool touch. So it's more about avoiding them than just kind of blasting an enemy as soon as you see it. Which is like rare, you know, for like a retro game of the time. And then it gives you missiles, great. What is your familiarity with the Metroid series, Chloe? Have you ever played one of these games? I would say they're definitely slightly more niche. They're definitely more niche than something like Zelda. And certainly way more than Mario when it comes to Nintendo, but they're great. And this area, it's so memorable. It's almost like it's covered in like cherry blossoms or something. All these like kind of maybe like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like plant matter or like fungal spores or something. It's a little like kind of like the fungal wastes in Hollow Knight. Absolutely no familiarity. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I think you would like them because since you're a Hollow Knight fan, I mean, this game was like undoubtedly one of the huge inspirations for Hollow Knight. I was talking about it earlier, like when the way the game starts and a lot of its minimalist storytelling and just the whole Metroidvania design. I even feel like this first area where like the game, you get to this overgrown like underground kind of greenery area, and then like I feel like this area that's kind of like these kind of almost like mushroom things and stuff, kind of like the fungal wastes in Hollow Knight. But yeah, it's a very similar type of deal. You're like exploring all these underground caverns on like an alien planet, and it's very atmospheric and minimalist and all that. Yeah, fine. Oh, you know fungal wastes. I know you're familiar with that. That's a reference you get. Yeah, it's a vibe. Like the music and the classic pixel art. It's so cool. I love the way Samus, like her. I just love the way she looks in this. You can really see like this. It's very subtle. This like slight movement on the pixels, so it looks like she's like breathing, like she's moving a little bit. That sounds cool. Hollow Knight pins on a hat. And yeah, I try to balance it, but I think most of us could probably be online a bit less. I mean, if I wasn't chronically online, I wouldn't have got the Ocarina of Time remake reveal spoiled for me. I was thinking that because I saw a. I got together with one of my best friends yesterday. I haven't hung out with in a bit. And they were saying that another one of our mutual friends, who's a huge Zelda fan, had no idea about the Ocarina of Time remake. They did not see any of the leaks or anything, and they like freaked out when they saw like the reveal of it. That's cool. When they burrow, they like leave a pile of dirt, I think. I think that's what that is, maybe. Unless that was there before. You with F1. What is F1? I'm thinking like Final Fantasy? Oh, yeah, 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 that's right, you mentioned that. Yeah, you did mention that a while back, that you were into Formula One racing. Yeah, okay. You're not sold on what is the concept. Cars go vroom, yeah. On the Ocarina remake, Gion? Is that what you meant? The song is so funky. I gotta practice the wall jumping. I've always been so bad at it. It's meant to be like a hidden skill, so I get why it's like a pain to do, but still. Kinda wish it wasn't such a pain. I don't know, we don't have to do it until later anyway. See, I don't know, I'm just like going places. Like I think there's several directions I could have gone here. Like I was saying, I'm trying to compare it to Dread, where there's always like one way to go, pretty much. Unless you backtrack, but even then, it doesn't always let you do that. But like it already feels like more open than that game. It's like this little secret, like what's in here? I don't know, I like exploring. Metroidvanias are all about exploring to me, and that's why that game bummed me out a bit. It's just because it was so hyped up. It was like, oh my god, it's like the second coming of Super Metroid. It surpasses it. It's so good. You gotta play it. And like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate we got a new, still really good 2D Metroid in the modern day. And that game plays amazingly. It's incredibly fun. The boss fights are incredible and everything. I still appreciate it. Samus is awesome in it. She's so cool. I just was a little taken aback by how kind of like linear it felt. I kind of thought we were like past that after Other M. But, oh well. You gotta run? Alright, no worries, Chloe. Yeah, it was great to see you. Always great to see you stop by. And, yeah, have a great evening as well. Or morning, because it's always morning for you. But yeah, take care. So, Gian, you said that what we've seen of the remake looks ugly, but we've barely seen anything, so trying to keep an open mind. Yeah, I kind of agree. I've been thinking about it. I was actually watching a reaction a bit earlier. When I was eating dinner earlier, I was watching someone kind of talk about it, and so those are space pirates apparently. I think so. I didn't catch on to that. I guess they do kind of look like them. So destroying me. And yeah, people in the chat were saying like, oh, like it looks like Nintendo hired that man, and it looks like Unreal Engine 5 slop, and I get where they're coming from, unfortunately. Like that was like my initial thought. I didn't like I couldn't quite put it into words, but yeah, it reminds me of like a fan project. I think I did say that when I watched the direct originally. It reminds me of like one of those like fan projects or like fan movies, which are impressive as like fan projects, and it's cool that people make that stuff, but I guess I don't necessarily want a Zelda game to actually look like that, maybe, but it's not necessarily that I'm not against a Zelda game looking like that. I think it's more that it's so reminiscent of those things that it feels almost cheap in a way. Like it cheapens it. So yeah, but like you said, we've barely seen anything. Just really have to see more. Like I could talk about all day and just be like, oh, it looks so terrible and oh my god, but I have no idea what it's really gonna look like because we've seen 2 seconds of Link sleeping on a blanket. So, oh, this is cool. You see like these little like pods. It kind of like foreshadows this boss, I feel like. So again, it's like Hollow Knight. You just walk into a room and suddenly you're in a boss fight. I love it. And this music is great. Just trying to heal. Do you shoot it first? I can't remember how this works. Okay. Maybe you're supposed to shoot it to open its mouth. Also, this is kind of like the first boss of Sonic 1 in a funny way. Like this big, kind of thing that is on a chain almost bouncing around. You gotta avoid. Just thinking of that because I just played all those games. Oh, I'm wasting missiles. I have a distinct memory. I think the first time I saw this boss, I was at a friend's house. So I said I didn't play this until the Wii Virtual Console. I had seen it before though. I think my friend was playing it on an emulator. On their computer or something. And I just have a memory of them fighting this boss. And I was like, oh, that game looks so cool. I really want to play that. But there was no... I didn't have a Super Nintendo and there was no... Virtual Console back then. I mean, you do turn into a ball. It is kind of similar. And roll around. Everything is secretly a Sonic game. I'm really hoping we get some Sonic news with the anniversary coming up next week. We'll get a Sonic Central. Shit. Can't hide there. I'm dead. Oh, I stood up and my head bonked on it. So yeah, we get Samus bursting out of the armor. But yeah, oh, that's cool. You see the map. Metroid Prime has a map like that too. It confirms your location on there. But my fear is after the Crazy Taxi reveal, my fear is where they're gonna announce a new Sonic game and it's gonna look cool, and then I'm gonna find out there's an AI disclaimer on its Steam page or something. That's gonna suck. But I can only hope not. And then they're gonna make some PR cheeky little joke about how what's her name? Sage? Some Sage related joke about AI to try to make fans feel better about it. Because Sage is the AI character in Sonic Frontiers. I could see that happening. It's gonna have Green Hill Zone, but now we're gonna keep reusing Green Hill Zone, but we don't even have to remake it anymore. We can just generate it now. So Green Hill Zone will just never go away, because it's just so easy to just generate it and put it in the game now. AI generated Green Hill. It's exactly what you want, right? Anyway, I'll stop being doom and gloom about that. I do hope we see something soon, and I hope it's not Green Hill or AI. That would be cool. I was gonna play Sonic Mania on Tuesday, Sonic's birthday. Just playing the classics got me wanting to play that again too. I always wonder what these little blue glowing marks in the wall are. I know it's just like the artists having fun back in the day, but it's fun to imagine like what, in the context of the world, that kind of these kind of like little environmental details are. Can you hide here? Looks like you can actually. Okay, it's like very tight, but you can do it. Pumping a boss full of missiles in a Metroid game is one of the most satisfying attacks in any video game ever. And it's always been like that. It's always been like that since this first... Well, not this... This isn't the first game, but since this game. Maybe even Metroid 1. I'd have to replay it, but... Yeah. It's so fun and dread. Like, the cinematic boss are so... I can't... Like you know, I complain about Metroid Dread's level design and, like, its progression. That's my issue with it, but... Yeah, like, its boss fights and its action is so good. It's so fun. And, like, I get that's why it's so praised, and it deserves it in that regard. Like, all the cinematic boss fights and all that are so cool. Samus just, like, doesn't give a shit in that game either about anything. They made her, like, so over the top and stuff. I loved it. There we go. It definitely felt like they were trying to, like, address Metroid Other M criticisms. You know, arguably maybe went overboard, but I still loved it. That scene when she, like, talks to the Chozo, and she's like, "Don't worry, I'll get it done." It's so cool. It's like the coolest scene ever. I love how the whole room, like, dies. It reminds me of Resident Evil, actually. When you kill Plant 42 in the original Resident Evil, and it, like, dries up. The whole room, like, dries up. It's cool the music just continues, too. Are you a Resident Evil fan, Gion? I feel like I've asked you that 5 times, sorry, but... I always forget, because you don't talk about it much, I feel like. Yeah. I still have a lot of them I need to play, but I still consider myself a fan of the series. Because, like, a lot of the ones I have played I absolutely love. Like Resident Evil 1 Remake and the original art. Both of them are 2 of my favorite games ever. And I started playing Resident Evil 2 OG last year. I played the Leon A scenario. I still need to do the other scenarios. But I loved that as well. This is so long. Oh my god. Such a long fall. What is your favorite Resident Evil game? I'm curious. Like the popular choices are like RE4, RE2, either remake or original, or RE remake. I don't remember getting the super missile that early. And then they give you this farm because you just did a boss, which is nice. And the classic Zelda Metroid design of using the upgrade you just got. It's funny those guys fall down. You're basic 4 lover. Yeah, the Spencer Mansion in 1 is... That's part of why I love that game so much. It's so iconic. It's so... I think its design is incredible. Like, even to this day, even in the original game, the way it's laid out, the way you gotta, like, memorize the layout and, like, find different routes through it to avoid the enemies. I think it's absolutely, like, just, like, a brilliant piece of, like, game design that is just, like, holds up super well. It's just... It's so impressive to me they, like, created that back then and stuff. And, like, I think, like, it's just so memorable. Like, every little inch of it is special. anyone who plays that game remembers like the dog hallway and like the plant room where you have to like poison it, and like earlier in the game there's like another plant like that room, and just so many different little like special moments. Hey, Six Card, welcome in. It's going well. It's not a first playthrough. I played this before, but it's been many years since I've played it, so I'm really enjoying revisiting it. But hope you're doing well today. And then 8 Village is second. Oh, that's your second favorite, really. I feel like I don't hear that often. I kind of feel like that game doesn't get talked about too much since it came out. I still haven't played it, but day's going alright. Good to hear it. I take it you're a Metroid fan? And yep, I always remember this little hidden passage down here. Man, I forgot how like quickly it just like throws upgrades at you like one after the other. Alright, finally we have that. You're obsessed with this one? Nice. Are you like a speedrunner by any chance? Because yeah, I was saying earlier, I was reading like the instruction manual for this, and even in the instruction manual, there's a little blurb at the end that like encourages you to go fast, and it's just so interesting that this was like kind of like the, maybe not the birth of speedrunning, but was like one of the first games that really like encouraged people like in its design to play through it quickly, and kind of gave rise to that whole scene. Retired spinner turned randomizer enthusiast, gotcha. And I know that's like a super popular thing now, is the randomizer stuff. I feel like this and A Link to the Past are the two most popular ones I see. And like Ocarina, the N64 games. How do I get back up here again? Oh, you just jump. Okay. You mean like Village, Gian? Hit your exact mythology obsession? I still don't even know that much about Village. I know it's like werewolves, I think. But... And then Lady Dimitrescu, or whatever her name is, obviously. Alright, let's see. Let's get some energy back first. Yeah, SMZ3, yeah, I've heard of that. I think I've seen a few people play that. I've never actually tried a randomizer. Maybe I should at some point. Because I am like, Zelda's like my first love. I love Metroid too, but... yeah, it's kind of funny. I've never tried at least one of the Zelda ones. I'm trying to like see if I can get up here, but... I bet you can. I bet you can wall jump off it. Again, I'm so bad at the wall jumps. I always have been. Yeah, one thing that... So one of the reasons I've always considered this my favorite Metroidvania, at least until I finally played Hollow Knight recently, and now they're kind of... I don't know, kind of neck and neck which one's my favorite, but like I feel like every room in this game feels unique. Like I said, like I didn't quite remember the layout of the map, but like I definitely remembered this room with all the little tubes and you're going down. I think there's a section after this where you need to like, there's like a collapsible floor you need to like run across or something, if I remember right. Or no, that was earlier. I think I was in that room earlier. But like there's that room. There's like a room later in like the red soil part of Brinstar where there's all like the little like sarlacc pits in the floor. I just feel like every room feels unique, and that was kind of like one of my slight criticisms of Hollow Knight. I think Hollow Knight had a ton of super unique, cool stuff in it, obviously, but some of the areas felt a little more tiled. Like I was thinking that about the city, kind of like there was a lot of those tower areas with like the elevators that felt a little samey. So yeah, just thinking back to this game, that was something that I always appreciated about it. Symphony of the Night is like that as well. Like it's not like a super huge environment, but like every part of it feels unique. And that's like what I love about the Resident Evil 1 mansion as well, like we were just talking about. Yeah, this is the room. Yeah, you run across the floor, so I was right. Okay. I don't know if I can do this yet. I guess you can. Okay. Yeah, it's been so long since I played through this. I didn't remember there was even a sprint button. Which is funny. Oh, here it is. This music's so good. Do, 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 do. I can probably get up there. I like totally forget how to do the wall jumps. You like have to do. Let me get some hydration. This song is so good. They remixed this in... Well, it's in Dread. I think there's a remix of it in the scene when Quiet Robe is talking to you and like revealing the whole backstory and everything. And I think... Oh, this part's so good. Do, do, do. Such a good soundtrack. I always love like when a song like evolves like this. Alright. I gotta remember how to do the wall jumps because I totally forget. Oops. Oh, but I was gonna say, I think it was in Metroid Prime 2. I could be misremembering, but I think there's in like that underground lab area in like the swamp, which was always one of my favorite parts of the game. I think there a remix of this plays there, or it could be a different song I'm thinking of. Get up there. I'll just keep exploring. Yes, I already feel like I'm kind of like just... Like I was saying, one of the reasons, you know, things I was thinking of replaying this is like comparing it to Dread, because I haven't played it since I played that game. And yeah, it already feels just like so much more open. It already feels like way more... Oh, it's energy, so I'm already full. It already feels like the exploration is like... I'm not just kind of being like led by the nose. It just feels a lot more like I'm actually like exploring this world and getting lost in it. Which is what I really missed in Dread. Oops. Shit. I remember getting stuck here a lot. Yeah, because you're so slow in the water until you get the gravity suit. Can I even kill these? No. This area is interesting because it's like... I don't think it's quite organic. It almost looks like bricks in the background. Go up or to the right? Let's go up. I think that's anything. So this just kind of gives you like a little hint. There's like something special up there. Dread definitely got underwater movement right. Yeah, definitely. I was saying earlier, like I will definitely praise Dread for the controls and like the action. It's so fun. It's such an incredibly fun game to play. Um, I was just a little let down by the exploration. I thought it kind of, a lot of the game kind of either like point of no return to you, so you can backtrack as easily, especially early on, or you would kind of get an upgrade and it would kind of like dump you right in front of the area you need to use it in and stuff like that, instead of kind of like finding your own path through the world. And like I love getting like lost in these kinds of games. And yeah, I remember there's a hidden thing here. Yeah, it's kind of like cheeky how it does it. It kind of guises it. Like I think a lot of people don't even really notice it, but it's kind of leading you like by an invisible string throughout a lot of the game. And like once I noticed it, I just like couldn't unsee it. Oh, this thing is so cool. So yeah, like there's still like you can still backtrack and get like there's all the different like upgrade puzzles and stuff like that. We're actually like pretty intense and intricate in that game. So that aspect is cool, but yeah, like you get to a new area and I just feel like there'd be two paths to go, but one of the paths would just lead to a quick dead end. And really there was really only one path, but they kind of like give you the illusion of choice basically. I could probably get up there. Yeah, it felt that way exactly. But yeah, it's why I mix on it because I still loved playing through it. Like I still loved the boss fights and everything. It's just more of like a it's more it's why I kind of say it's like I think it's a brilliant like action platformer, but not really a great Metroidvania, so to speak. At least the parts of the genre that I enjoy, it didn't quite nail. I completely forget how to do it. I know you like... Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. I think you have to... There it is. Okay. But do you hit the button first? No. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. This is just like some right way of pressing the buttons. But anyway, I love this giant alien head. I know it's been like pointed out so many times over the years, but it's just such a memorable set piece that like you won't really forget. So when you get the double jump later, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go back and go inside that alien head, and that's the kind of thing I love. I love like remembering where something is and then backtracking and using the new skill instead of like, you gotta head out. All right, no problem, no problem, Gian. Thanks for hanging out. It's good to see you as always. Yeah, have a good night. But yeah, that was my issue in Dread. It would kind of you'd get an upgrade, and then you'd like fall through a floor, and then you'd be kind of like right next to the place where you need to use the double jump, and then it would kind of string you along into the next major area, and so on and so on. Right, so we're already getting down to like Norfair. Can't go there yet. Where this feels just way more like I'm just exploring. Like now I just stumbled into a whole new area and stuff, and that's great. What's this? I think that's... I don't know what that is. Plasma beam or something? Okay, I don't have missiles. Have you played, well, actually, I see your icon 6 card if you're there, so I assume you've played Hollow Knight. I just played it through the first time, like, the past, like, couple months. So that's kind of was part of my inspiration for revisiting this game. I wanted to kind of, like, compare how they both kind of handle the whole, like, Metroidvania thing. And Hollow Knight's definitely, like, super open. Like, that's kind of like... It's almost like an open world game in, like, Metroidvania format. But... I still really loved it. Like, I still... You know, I just love exploration, and that game... was one of the funnest times I've ever had exploring a world. It just... So much of it just felt so unique and special. You were just always discovering... Like, every time I played it, every session, it was, like... a cool new discovery or like a new boss or something. Okay, nothing here. Nope. And I'll definitely play Silk Song eventually. I haven't yet, but I want to have like I didn't want to like play them back to back. I don't want to get like burnt out. I want to just kind of treat them both as their own kind of special, separate thing. And I still have to do like there's still several. I still have to do like the DLC stuff in Hollow Knight too. So a lot of some of the optional boss stuff I still haven't done. We need more missiles. This was a save point, right? Yeah. Alright, I gotta find... Oh, I got missiles. Nice. It's gotta be the item fanfare in Metroid. It's gotta be like top 5 like fanfares in all of games for me. I love the sound in the Prime games too. When you get an item, it's a little different, like that do 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 do. I don't know. It's hard to mimic, but I mean, it's probably like Zelda. There's gotta be, you know, like the stuff in... I don't know. I'd have to think about which Zelda game has my favorite, like, chest opening kind of fanfare, but it's probably like one of those is my favorite, probably. just gonna keep trying this. I did it once before. There it is, okay. I thought you just like press jump and back as soon as you touch the wall, but maybe you need to like stick to the wall for a minute first. Oh. I'll have to wait till the little animals teach me it. My technique for bomb jumping is like just spam it until I get it right. Almost. So close. Is this actually the way you're supposed to do this? No, of course not. Okay, nice. Can't get over it. You move so fast when you're in the morph ball. Right, I forgot it's not... Yeah, it's not like a double jump. It's just a high jump. So yeah, so like I was saying earlier, now that I have this, I can go right back to that weird alien head and use it. And like I need to... I like thinking about that and remembering that, and you kind of find it on the way, or at least you can. That locked behind me. What am I missing here? I don't think there's anything else here. Nothing up here. Was it just you just kill the enemy? Is that what it is? I think I just wall jumped there by accident. Yeah, that's what it is. Right. So I think all these areas are like fire. What was this again? Oh yeah, the speed booster stuff. See, I don't think there's anything else. I didn't go in there yet. I think the room on the left was one of the hut rooms. We could do that. What's this? So let's see if I can sprint through that. That's just the way out. So you probably need the speed booster to do this, but I just keep... I want to try to do like one sequence break thing this playthrough, maybe, if I can manage. But I probably need to figure out wall jumping to do that. Yeah, when I originally played this, I don't think I knew about any of that or even like thought to do it. One thing I definitely have to do is save the animals at the end, because I don't think I ever did that. I guess another thing I just don't think I knew about it in the past. So yeah, if you find this little area, like you just go down there. The only thing I could really do down there is get the high jump. And then they have this super memorable entranceway. If you come in here with the super missiles, it's kind of hidden, but they have this really memorable entranceway right near where you get that. So yeah, I love how it's like this creature like frozen in there. And I guess it's kind of like Dread, because I went down into a section where there was a bunch of like rooms smoking off it that I couldn't really do anything in, and there's really only one place to go to get the upgrade. And there's only one route back, and then this is kind of like on the way. But at least it is like still a bit hidden over here. It's not just like right in your face immediately. You still need to kind of like remember to come back over here, so... This almost looks like the wrecked ship aesthetic. Which is interesting. Like these like metallic areas I kind of feel like are like the space pirate stuff, what they built. And like the more like stone and like ruins are like the Chozo stuff. What are we doing here? No. It's definitely like a try everything game. You kind of gotta try blasting every little like square of floor, like using all the different weapons. What's the deal with this? Yeah, you're just constantly looking for like little secret passageways and stuff. And if you don't like know to do that, I can see like kind of getting stuck. But typically, like that time earlier when I just needed to kill an enemy to open the door, there's nothing else I can do. So like eventually you're gonna figure it out. But I can definitely see that tripping some people off. Kind of like a room like this where there's like one specific square you need to bomb to progress. So it's all like overgrown. Save point. If I remember right, this is leading over to like where Crate is, I think. There's a lot of atmospheric games out there, and atmosphere is always one of the most important things of a game to me. But there's just nothing quite like the atmosphere in a Metroid game. This is funny. It's like a little safe spot they can't get you at. Yeah, it's just something about how these games, um, at least like a lot of the games, most of them, they're just so consistently like quiet. Um, I think people describe it as kind of like that isolated feeling, but yeah, you're just so on your own. Just like this like vibey music and just this weird world and like I don't know, it's so cool. They really weren't afraid to just like let you loose kind of in this alien world and just piece everything together on your own, which is like I love that. Yeah, just any kind of game that just drops you into this kind of alien, mysterious world, and it's just like, just explore and figure it out and piece together everything. It's one of my favorite kinds of game, basically, like just any kind of game that does that kind of thing. And Hollow Knight was definitely very much like that as well. Like there were NPCs and stuff, so it was a bit less like lonely, but it does just like drop you in. And especially the storytelling in that game, it's like it does not spoon feed you anything. You really gotta. There's a lot of cryptic dialogue and all that, and you gotta piece together your own kind of reading of the narrative really fully and completely. It never once like tells you exactly what's going on. You gotta really just kind of figure it out. Is there really nothing over here? This is so weird. There we go. That's so cool because the floor was kind of cracked there too. Here it is. I love this song. Bum 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 ba-dum. Bum 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 ba-dum. This room is very Metroid 1 looking too, which is very intentional because of Kraid being like a classic boss. There he is. There's Kraid. I really need health. And it's such a fun, obviously, like little troll on the game to be like, because Kraid was this tiny little guy in the first Metroid. So they give you like this fake Kraid, and then to like flex the power of the Super Nintendo, it's like, no, actually Kraid is like way more than that in this game. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Do some farming here. Yeah, again, the farming in these games is not my favorite part. I usually don't enjoy this stuff in like any game. I'd rather they just give you like, I love when you kill something in like Metroid Prime, for example, that just like leaves behind like all this junk, you know, and you just kind of suck it all in. At least from what I remember of those games. It's been a while since I played one of those too. But still, it's way better than Metroid 1. Oh, I love this. So cool. You have like this decaying. It's like one of the Federation soldiers or something, just like their corpse. It's covered in like slime and acid and stuff. So it's like someone who came here earlier, wandered into the space pirate base and got killed by Kraid or something. What's up above this? What's up here? Oh. Okay, well. Don't I look silly? No need to farm. So why did they put a little enemy farm down here? That's funny. I just kind of assumed they wouldn't. I didn't remember they just gave you one of those before the boss. Well, that's nice. Should I go refill? Yeah, I may as well. Do I have... Oh, I don't have full supers. Okay, I think we're good. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to do this boss. So cool. There's like a delay, it's like, what the hell? What's going on? They just show up. Then I love the escalation. If they start by giving you the little tiny crit just to troll you, and then it's like, oh no, he's like this huge guy now, and then he gets even bigger. Like it's so good. It's so well done. It's like, yeah, this is the Super Nintendo now, right? Like now this is what Kraid looks like. I have to, okay, you gotta shoot him and then he opens. I gotta not waste these. There we go. Turn red. Oops. Oh no, I'm out. Shit. Yeah, you can stand on those, on his little, spikes that come out of his stomach. I think you can stand on them. I only have 2. I need more than that. Missiles. Shit. Open your mouth. Come on, open up. I can probably just shoot him with this. Can you? Maybe you can charge beam him. I've kind of been assuming you need missiles. Yeah, you can. Okay, alright, yeah. Definitely rusty, obviously. Again, I don't know when, the last time I played this, it was a long, long time ago, so it's been a while. Alright, we got him. Not too bad. It was a bit easier than I kind of remembered. I definitely remember, at least later on, having trouble with some of the bosses. Kind of my memory with some of the later bosses is just kind of like damage, like tanking them when I have more health. Especially the ones that are in like more cramped rooms, like Fantoon and stuff. But we'll see how they go this time. Nice. I love how Samus's sprite looks in this. The subtle little animation that like suggests movement with just like the pixels kind of wiggling. It's really nicely done. Anything hidden in here? And then of course we're like right near. We go back and we're right near Norfair, so it kind of, you know, Dread. It is kind of similar. You know, it is kind of that design of like, once I backtrack through here, I'll be right near Norfair where I need to use this. But I still feel there's a little more thought than Dread. I still need to like think to go back down there and remember there's lava there. And it doesn't just like lock a door behind you to like force you down that path. Like I feel like Dread does a lot, especially earlier in the game. But I am seeing the design more than I did, you know, when I played this in the past, when I wasn't thinking about that kind of thing as much. For sure. And that's why part of why I wanted to replay this is to kind of like pay more attention to that kind of thing. Also, these blocks kind of look like Mario blocks. I just noticed that. Like after you've like hit them and got the item out of them. So I love this little ambience. I always have. It's just such a fun game. Whole Metroidvania design of just getting the item, now I can go explore more. Just that thought of like, oh, there's so many places I can go now. There's all those rooms with like where it was too hot. There's at least like maybe 2 or 3 of them I can go to. That was one thing in Hollow Knight. That feeling wasn't, I kind of talked about that when I played Hollow Knight. That feeling wasn't quite there as much because the game is so open to begin with. There's always a bunch of different paths to go, so you kind of miss out a little bit on that great feeling of like, I got a new upgrade and now I can like go back to that specific place. It's still in the game for sure. Just a little more muted maybe. But it was hard to like care that much when I was just having so much fun exploring. Like I still really liked the openness, so yeah. Save rooms are weird though. They're kind of like, they kind of look more like high technology. So maybe like the Space Pirates made them. Yeah, I mean, the Chozo had high technology too. I'm trying to just like pay attention to the different environment design and kind of like the story that it tells. Obviously, you know, a lot of it doesn't have that much thought put into it all the time. But even in a game when stuff doesn't, even if I'm aware it's just a save point, like the designers probably weren't thinking too much about its place in the overall kind of lore of the world. I still like to kind of come up with my own little theories and explanations for it. That's always fun to me. It's part of why Zelda games are so fun for me. Because they really kind of invite you to come up with your own little explanations for like what the dungeons originally were and that kind of stuff. Is this nothing? There is a marker on the map, like there's an item here. There we go, cool. Yeah, it's not easy to 100% this, because stuff is pretty well hidden. Again, I think in the past, I don't think I've ever done it. I always got to like 99 or 98%, I think, completion. Well, we'll see if I can do it this time. I just love how, like, you never actually, like, fight a creature that looks like that. It's just purely a little set dressing moment. I think that's so cool. There's stuff like that all over Hollow Knight as well. Definitely took inspiration, I think, from this game in that regard. So yeah, there's probably more stuff in Brinstar I can check out, but... Yeah, like, obviously now that I have the Varia suit, I can go right back down to Norfair. But I at least appreciate it doesn't just, like... If this was Metroid Dread, I feel like I would kill Kraid. And then, like, after the boss room, I'd, like, fall through a floor that would lead to, like, a secret passage that would just dump me right back out into, like, one of the hut areas in Norfair. And like, go from there. Like, that kind of design, I wasn't a big fan of. It didn't feel like I was exploring or actually figuring out where to go to use the upgrade I just got. It was just, like, silently guiding me right into the place where I need to use it. Which some people would call, like, good design, and they like that. They like the straightforwardness, but I like the backtracking. I like kind of thinking about where to use the upgrade and stuff. That's part of what makes these games fun to me. Kind of like learning the space and, like, how it connects and where you've been and stuff. What you haven't done yet. I haven't been using the charge shot much. The heat effects on, like, the wall and stuff are really nice here. A little bubbly lava. Is there anything up there? Interesting. So if I look at the... Can I go... Yeah, I was just gonna point out, like, how the map... See, like, I'm in this room and it fills in... It's like a grid. And it just fills in this one square of the map. And then if I go forward a little... Oh, I'm still in the same square. But, okay, if I go down... Now it fills in, like, another square. And this is what I love, right? So I know exactly where I have not... Where I have been and where I have not been. And this is the kind of map I like. In really, like, any game. It just explores. It fills in as I explore. Probably my main criticism of Hollow Knight is how the map worked, and because it just kind of, like, when you buy a map and you've been to an area and then you fill it in on a bench, it just wholesale fills in a room. So I didn't always know, like, if I'd actually fully explored an area and a room and stuff, and that when I started to backtrack later in the game, that really tripped me up. And I didn't always know like where I hadn't been and where I had been. But yeah, I think the way this game handles it, like I just always know exactly where I've been. And when I'm backtracking later for like upgrades I missed, I can look at the map and just see exactly the parts of a room I have not been in and stuff like that. And it wasn't like detrimental in Hollow Knight. It wasn't such a big deal. It like dramatically altered my experience with the game, but it was a gripe. It didn't work quite as well as I think it could have worked in a game that does like involve a lot of backtracking. I just wish it more like the map filling in accurately reflected like where you've actually been and what you've explored more. Shit. Just checking all the walls. Oh yeah, this room, I think the lava rises here. Oh god, oh god. I was gonna say, does it just like stop rising though? It's like not that much of a threat. Oh, and again, this is something else Hollow Knight I think was inspired by this game. You can see the bubbles. Like the area, one area transitions into the next in a nice way. Um, I love that stuff. And this is another thing I was talking about, how like there's so many different unique rooms in this game. And Hollow Knight does definitely have that. I was kind of like griping a little. Some of the areas in Hollow Knight are a little more tiled, and have some samey kind of stuff going on. But like I want to be clear, there's like part of why I love that game so much is there was so much unique, cool, like areas you find and like different like little set piece like environmental details and unique rooms in that game as well. Um, but yeah, this is another one of those rooms in this game that I'll just never forget. I always remember the weird bubble egg room, right? And it's such like a specifically Metroid aesthetic, I feel. The way this room looks, it's just so like alien and stuff. Um, yeah. Such like a iconic kind of unique art design in the game. Like, you know, when you see a screenshot of this game, like, you know, even if you took away the HUD, you took away Samus, you know it's Metroid. And I know there's like indie games since that have kind of like uh, taken after that style. I haven't played it. I think the Axiom Verge series I think kind of mimics the style of this game in a way, but I still feel like it's like very originally kind of distinctly Metroid. The way like the walls kind of have these individual blocks in them, and just like the way this bubble room looks and everything. And yeah, like a game having like its own unique art design and identity is like always something really important to me. It's kind of why like Bloodstained, when I played that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, kind of bummed me out because I feel like it didn't quite have that to me. I thought its world wasn't that special feeling. The visuals are kind of bland. Kind of like there's a lot of games that could look like that, and also just the environments in that game don't really feel like they organically connect a lot of the time. The world feels kind of scattershot by the end, which I wasn't a big fan of. So it's definitely a way for me, at least, to get this kind of game right and to get it wrong. Again, just subjectively, you know, the way what I like about these kinds of games. There we go. all the weird, creepy dragon heads down there. So I think we're near like the Ridley zone, but that's like way later. Yeah, I figured. It's just like the best playing a Metroid game like late at night, just getting like lost in the world. It's just like a peak video game feeling. Oh, this is just like a little farming area, I think. It's funny, the game, like, it still has this like Metroid 1, but it also just straight up gives you energy refill stations. And I think the reason they did this here is because if you just went in here and it was suddenly just like an energy refill, it would feel kind of weird. Like, why would that be in this underground lava cave? So I think they were putting thought into like the world building in that sense, which I really appreciate. I think that's cool. So instead they made it like a nest of aliens that you kind of refill your stuff from. Even if it's a bit more tedious to do. It's just because they're spawning very slowly for some reason. Come on. Oh, it's because I'm not close enough to it. Is that why? Yeah, that's why. Okay. That's kind of weird. Maybe that's how all these work throughout the game. You need to be like right next to it. Like all the little animation on the stones in the background. Because we're still, it's kind of like flashing. Like it's still like, we're still in like a hut area. Just not in like the one of the super hut rooms. Oh, this is a creepy thing. Oh, jeez. Those are like Zelda enemies, like the bubbles in Zelda. Same with this. Very much a Zelda enemy. Let's see what's to the right first. Could be like a save point. Let's see what's down. Oh. A lot of these one-way doors. Yeah, so like I don't like this game. It's more upgrade focused. I don't think it's quite as open as Hollow Knight in that regard. Also because the world's smaller, I think. But it feels like it is. Like I feel like I'm just exploring this kind of like very open environment. And it doesn't feel like Dread to me. It feels like I'm very much exploring. I'm not like constantly looking at the map and analyzing every little part of the level design, but at least so far it does feel. There's some parts that kind of have that Dread thing of it kind of guiding you back to where you need to use the upgrade, but I at least feel it was done in a more subtle way. And yeah, at this point I feel like I'm very much just exploring this environment. I'm just kind of... Is that something different? But I'm also streaming and talking, so I'm not perhaps as clued in as I was when I was like kind of just playing Dread on my own and paying a lot of attention to that kind of thing. So it could be a little more linear than I'm thinking, but It at least is feeling more open. I guess we don't need to kill those. Oh, jeez. This is like an interesting little platformer room. Yeah, it's funny, like, I mean, one of the main things I would give dread over this game is, you know, the controls, and like it feels extremely nice to play, but I do hear some people, if there's like one criticism of Super Metroid when people kind of go back to it, it's that maybe the control isn't quite as smooth as they'd like it, and I'd probably agree to an extent, but I still think it feels really nice to play, and there's a very, like, what's the word? Something very specific about the movement. You kind of always know where your jumps are going to take you and all that. It feels very, like, reliable. You can kind of, like, do this spin jump that's further. You can kind of do one of these jumps, but you always have a lot of control. Like, part of me kind of appreciates Samus doesn't just feel like this super agile acrobat, kind of like she does in the newer games. She feels a little clunkier, which kind of, like, might make a little more sense with having, like, this heavy power suit. Like, in the newer games, she just can move super freely with the power suit, which is cool in its own way, too. But there is kind of, like, a clunky, like, clunky in a sense of, like, you kind of feel, like, the weight of her armor, which is kind of interesting, whether intentional or not. But yeah, I forgot shoot was on the X button, and I'll have to look into if that's the default or if it's just kind of the version of the game I'm playing. I have mostly gotten used to it, but it still is kind of weird. And then again, I still, like, again, the wall jump, I've always had trouble wrapping my head around it. I'll have to figure out how to do it eventually. Again, I get it's supposed to be kind of like a secret skill, and that's why it's hard to execute, and part of me appreciates that, but I've always wished it was a little less obtuse. Because wall jumping tends to be one of my favorite actions in video games, like in Mario and stuff. And like in Dread, you know, it's super fun and fluid. So that's like one little thing. And I do remember the grappling beam in this being kind of jank too. But we'll see when we get to it how I feel about it nowadays. But yeah, overall, I still think it's really fun to play. And obviously, if you're like a speedrunner and stuff and you know all the tech, it's probably super fun to play. And there's probably all sorts of reasons that community, like, perhaps might prefer this to Dread or prefer some of the movement and stuff you can do in this. I think I might have it, finally. Yeah, okay. So you have to tap the direction first, and then you press the A button. I knew it'd come back to me eventually, it just took a while. So I wonder if I can get up here with it. Let's get rid of... Oh, I don't have a super missile, damn. Is there anything over here? Right, this is weird. Did I miss something here? gotta be some reason for this. Oh, you know what? I bet that might be like a collapsible floor or something. I still feel like I'm missing something. The thing is, like, it's so awkward if I want to like sprint and shoot at the same time when shoot's on the X button. That's why I kind of feel like it should be on the Y button. So I feel like I might change it. I love these weird seahorse enemies. It's kind of funny. Hey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I just noticed it. I should play a sound when someone follows. It's just not working. I'll have to look into that. Hopefully the notification still appeared on screen though. But yeah, I like to have anonymous follows, because I know when I follow someone, I don't always like my name to kind of show up on the screen. Sometimes I just want to lurk, so I like to keep them anonymous. Okay. Now I can get that. You aim up. There we go. Alright, here's the grapple beam. Oh, that's funny. They're just like, they're not actually spikes. Forgot about that. Hey, Xander Martin, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. Are you a fan of Metroid? I'm guessing. That's funny, they make a little sound. I'm not using the charge beam enough. I just feel like it's a bit slower, I guess, so I kind of... Like when I play Hollow Knight, I was similar. I just used like the regular slashes. I never used the charge up attacks. I just like to attack fast. Back in the bubble zone. Don't have any supers though. I always think of them as bubbles, but they might be like eggs or something. They seem like organic, right? Like they seem like they're... Not just like stone or something, but it is like an alien planet, and this like kind of cements, you know, that feeling. Like an alien planet could have some kind of like organic surface or something like this. There we go. It's almost like a living creature or something like that. Just love how like maze-like the world feels. It must just be like so hard to design this kind of game. Especially at the time when they were like really pioneering this. I mean, this game is like widely considered one of the founders of the Metroidvania genre. It's right there in the name. Obviously, there was Metroid 1 and 2 before this, and they should not be kind of overlooked, but I feel like this and Symphony of the Night, you know, are often thought of as when they really nailed down this type of design and like refined it. Like so many games take after them. Yeah, you love this game. It's one of your childhood treasures alongside Metroid Fusion, Zero Mission, and Wario Land 4. Awesome. Um, I've played Zero Mission and Fusion. It's been a long time since I played them. I gotta revisit those sometime too. But I've never actually played Wario Land 4. And I really want to at some point because I loved... I played... So Super Mario Land 2 is actually one of my favorite Mario games. I always loved how weird and different it is. And I loved the original Wario Land as well, for kind of the same reason. And I played Wario Land 2, but I never went further than that. I never played Wario Land 3 or 4, so... I gotta do that sometime. Because I hear 4 is like the best one, a lot of people say. And I've seen like screenshots of it, and it looks like the pixel art looks great. The Game Boy Advance aesthetic was always so good. And like Zelda Minish Cap and stuff. I love how all those games look. Oh, I think I'm remembering this room. You gotta do this. Yeah, cool. It's got that mix of like combat with like some rooms are just more like movement or platformery kind of puzzles, and that's kind of like what Hollow Knight achieved really well as well. I meant to say. I got the speed booster, nice. Oh yeah, the lava starts rising. Shit, this is a cool moment. Such a great way to teach you how this item works too. It's like, oh, you gotta get the hell out of here. I always like Metroid games are always longer in my memory. Cause like I've only been playing the game for like 3 hours now, and like I already feel like I've made so much progress. I already have like so many upgrades and stuff. It's just like it's just really fun. It has like a really nice balance of spacing out the upgrades, I guess, and always making it like constantly rewarding. Okay, let's see if I can. I wonder if I can get up there. I bet there's a way to do it. That's what's it's so fun to try this stuff in this game. Because I know there's all these speed running shortcuts and stuff I'm not privy to, of course, but it always feels like anything's possible. Oh, save point. Actually, I do think that's probably a good stop point. Yeah, I've been streaming for about 3 hours. It's almost 11 p.m. my time, so yeah, it's probably about as late as I was gonna go. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna say before I like get super into it and get lost again. I think I'm probably gonna call it here. Let's see. Go to the title screen. I can just reset it actually. There you go. Watch this amazing again. This is like one of my favorite intros to a game ever. This title screen. Um, some of the hacks of this game are absolutely incredible. It's got Ascent and Subversion. I'll have to look those up. I've never really looked into the hacks for Metroid games. I know I'm aware of another Metroid 2 remake, which is a fan game, not really like a hack, obviously, but I still never played it. But I'm familiar with like I know like the Mario games have a big hacking scene. But yeah, I'll have to look into that because that's probably really cool. But yeah, it's good to meet you, Xander Martin. Yeah, sorry you kind of jumped in, kind of the latter portion of the stream, but I'll be back tomorrow to continue this at 7:30 p.m. EST. So yeah, it's really fun to replay this game and jump back into it. It's been a long time. It's been many years since I replayed Super Metroid, and yeah, it's just still a blast like always. Again, like I was saying earlier in the stream, there's just nothing else like the atmosphere in these games. And I really wanted to revisit it after playing through Hollow Knight for the first time recently. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get going. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Xander, and anyone else out there lurking. Appreciate it. And I'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, have a great evening or day or whatever time zone you're in. And thanks again. All right, take care.